In this clip, you'll see the first half, the beginning of the game against San Diego. I just wanted to highlight some of our defensive spacing and really what they tried to do against us often, and challenging spacing between Tyler and Jake and Rafael and Cam. In this case, you'll see their best players playing at the number 11 spot up top on the left. And you'll just see here some a decent attempt by them to find that ball through. And as you can see here, they nearly get through here. Jake does a good job of covering Tyler in this case. I just think when you're playing against or recognizing certain players' abilities, as a defender, we have to be careful about being overly aggressive, right? And so in this instance, you can see as the ball comes in, I think you're probably trying to read that first pass. And now this player is smart. He's recognizing that you had stepped up, and he's looking to get in behind here on that second move. And we got to be aware of that, because that's if Jake isn't there to cover you, that's probably a chance on goal for them. So just wanted to highlight, because it's going to happen a couple times in this game, and in other games that has happened before, you'll see this type of ball played in between our outside back and center back. Because of our spacing and our aggressiveness and trying to win the ball. Sometimes if you don't have the speed, that's where you have to give up some of the space underneath, allow them to have the ball to feet, and then put pressure on them, as opposed to trying to win that ball. And you can see here, as you're coming forward, the ball is getting played behind. And, good by Jake here to cover you, cover Tyler here, and get the ball out. But you'll see in a number of other examples where, it's pretty close, right? It's dangerous, aggressive play, and the space is there for them to play. And, either the pass isn't good or we cover it well. But you just want to recognize that those spaces there are going to be attacked by a lot of teams, and we want to cover that. In this clip, you'll just see some good one-touch passing, work the ball the other side of the field where we switch the point of attack, and a good service into a dangerous area. And I'll let it run here. A little sloppy there, but we're able to get out. One-touch passing, good to the other side of the field. Right, everyone's seeing the next pass, which is great. Even Cam here in service into the area. And I think this is a very good, dangerous ball, and leads to a good attempt on goal. Right. We're hitting the far post with this ball. I think we can probably drive it with our laces as opposed to trying to pass it in. Maybe he's trying to find Yassine there. Maybe, I think Yassine actually is on. So this is probably a cross more than a shot. And, a good attempt here. Probably Yassine probably should have finished that as this ball's coming in. Yeah, definitely in a position there where he probably could have hit the ball, but isn't able to get onto it. But you can see the quick passing, one touch, in, back, across the field, and then even Cam here, right, as the ball's coming. Players are playing the way they're facing, right? 1, 2. Here Daniel sees the pressure coming, is able to flip the ball to Cam. Not necessarily playing the way he's facing, but, playing what he had looked at. He looked over his shoulder, saw the angle, right, had his good body position, and has a clever pass there, and a good ball here by Cam into space. That's the ball we want to hit when Yassine is working in the near space. We want to hit these diagonal balls across the field. And here Billy, when I saw this initially, I thought of Van Persie, right? If you remember that goal from the World Cup, I'll show it to you here. I was thinking maybe he could have done this, which would have been a heck of a goal, right? That type of diving header at the ball, looping it over the keeper. I don't expect that to happen at this age probably, but I definitely think there was an opportunity as this ball's coming in to possibly jump at it. Yeah, it would have been dangerous probably, but something to think about next time when those balls come in. I show you a good example there, or at least an example of an excellent goal by Van Persie. Possibly could have done the same thing, but in the end, it's actually good play here. He brings the ball down, controls it, plays the way he's facing, right? There's not a shot on for him. Finds the next open person. Jack puts it in a dangerous area, which is what we want. We just need a better finish by Yassine. All right, in this clip, you'll see some decent possession out of the back, trying to build to get the ball forward. We switch a point of attack twice, twice, and we get a decent effort on a service into the box. Just the quality isn't there. But as you can see, I think the ideas were pretty good. So we're just playing out of the back, being patient here, not forcing it. Players are playing what they see, and that's really what the idea is: to get the ball quickly, get the ball moving quickly. Opportunity to open up. Nathan finds a good ball here to Billy. Billy's playing the way he's facing. You're seeing that it's tough in this area, but probably Yacine could play one touch instead of trying to but turn himself. But decent effort fighting for the ball, right? Trying to hold the ball up. Probably not an obvious one-touch pass there, but we do a good job of switching a point of attack. Again, it's a little sloppy on that area, but the ideas are good. Right, moving the ball 1 and 2 touch. Garrett's great turn there by Garrett, reading the pressure. He's attempting to slot a pass through here. It's a little difficult, all right, but it's a good idea, all right. They're a good defensive team. We found it hard to break them down, but probably could switch a point of attack to Tyler here, but that would be the safe play. I'm really looking for that next pass underneath the midfield line. We aren't able to do it here, but it puts them under pressure. They're not able to win the ball cleanly, and we have the ball here on a throw, and we play quickly again, looking to switch. Good play here by Jack. Good by Garrett. Could be a little bit cleaner here in terms of playing, our accuracy and our passing, but it's good ideas. Good ball by Ethan. It's really good interplay, and just a better service here probably leads to a goal. If that's balls to the back post to Daniel, or to Jack, right? Jack's open in this instance. A better ball here to the back post. Probably Jack could challenges for the ball, and so can Daniel, and put pressure onto this defender here. But as you can see, we switched the point of attack. It's that penetrating ball by Ethan that really opens them up. All right, that's safe play. We're playing on the outside of them, in an umbrella fashion around the defensive shell, which is good. But as you can see now, here's a pattern that we often do: is that the wide forward comes underneath to receive the ball in an area where probably the attacking midfielder should be. Right, both of my attacking midfielders are in a deep position. All right, and Tyler's working forward here to work off of that. So we're creating pressure on this defender right here. Right, he's having to decide to run with Tyler or to mark Billy, the passing angle, and so it opens up here for a ball into Tyler. Tyler does, gets pressured. And Billy does a good thing up here by turning and being the next pass for Tyler. All right, and all that's needed here is just a better service into the box. He has time. Should probably serve that ball to the back post, and it's probably a goal or a good chance on goal. All right, this clip you'll see just some sloppy play in our build-up out of the back. We turn the ball over in the midfield, and just the reactions aren't great, and it leads to a possible through ball by them between that space I was talking about in the first clip, between Tyler and Jake. And I've been warning Tyler about this, that when they win the ball, they're trying to find his player, the player he's marking. So we have to look, and he's looking to get in behind. Right? If you remember the game last year against in National League, where we played against San Diego in the summertime, our first game in group stage, they scored a goal. Basically, the midfielder, the number 6, who's a left-footed player, we were possessing the ball. We lose the ball in the midfield, and basically the kid just turns and hits a diagonal ball, all right, almost knowingly, like that's the game plan, into a space for their outside forward to run onto, and it puts pressure on Jake. He's not able to control it, and they score. And you can see here, their strategy basically. Can this be cleaner? It's good passing here, just a bad touch, right, off his shin. And now the reactions have to be better, right? The reactions to stop this play aren't good enough. We can't let him get through. Here, 2 of you defensively, right? The ball gets turned over, chase after it, put some pressure on, make pressure on them, make him play backwards, and he's able to get through. We can't stop chasing, right? And you can see they're looking to find in between Jake and Tyler. And at this point in time, again, our positioning, Tyler's doing the right thing. He's recognizing that we've lost the ball. Right? He's running back in now to mark up. And I've been instructing him basically to watch out for this, because they look to counterattack through his side of the field. Just positioning isn't great, and you're having to scramble at the last second to get that ball. And you mistake here because you're having to lunge, you increase the chances here. All right, I think you're just playing it a little bit too tight. Right, a little bit too 50-50, right? You're not as fast as him. You got to give him a little bit more respect, and a little more space, right? Just dropping a little bit deeper, and we're able to clear the ball out, but it's dangerous, as you can see. So I just wanted to point that out. Sloppy play by us. The reactions aren't great. I think Daniel needs to chase after the ball. Cam and Daniel can't let this player get through them, right? Don't stop running after the ball, Daniel, here. Right? Keep going and fighting for the ball. Make it hard for him to play this ball with his left foot. Tyler does a good job of stopping it in the end, but that's nearly a chance through because of this. The spacing isn't great between our defenders. We're having to scramble at the last second, Our body position isn't great. And a mistake here by Tyler, he doesn't clear the ball well, or he doesn't have cover, and it's a goal. So I just wanted to point out that's some of the areas that we need to improve upon in our shape in terms of when we're attacking, when the ball turns over, and our positioning relations to each other in the back four has to improve in terms of covering those gaps, making sure that they can't get through us. All right, this clip is an example of just some good passing, good ideas, switching the point of attack, and some combination play. And really, what I want to highlight is that when we did break them down in the midfield and got through, it's that final pass that we were unable to really find. And you'll see that the quality needs to improve in terms of what we need in the end. So decent here by Rafael. He's playing the player coming in. So similar to how Ethan was playing Billy earlier, and Cam could probably run around here, and in the other case it was Tyler running around Billy. The forward can check into this space underneath and receive the ball to feet, and Daniel does that here. Does a good job of controlling it, looking up. A little bit quicker here play, but is able to keep possession. Good ball by Jake out to Billy, and Billy doesn't waste any time. Plays one touch the way he's facing, which I like. Good here by Tyler to basically, this is decent play. We're at midfield. This is where you want to try this stuff. Bring a player in. Make them press it, right? You're bringing the player out of the space you want to play to. You go in a negative space. You sort of have Garrett here, but it's a little tight because of the defender. You kind of have Jake here, but it's a little tight again. Can we get a little bit more spacing possibly so we can work the ball around? But I don't mind this, right? Dribble a bit away from the player that you want to play to, draw them in, and then slip a pass in between them. This is good individual play by Daniel. This is what dribbling is good for. Just obviously it's at midfield, so you want to now at this moment you want to look for passes, and as you can see, right, I think Billy's on to the outside here, possibly Yassine is on, but still good play. You're able to get through, and here that final pass, right? It's on Jack's weaker foot, his left foot, but a little chip ball here is what's needed, and maybe that's what you're attempting. And it's on for Yassine, probably into space, a little bit more of a measured ball in the air. Right, instead of on the ground, would have gotten us through. If not, then work the ball wide. Right, I think Cam is there as well, right, on the outside for him to serve the ball with his strong foot. But as you can see, it's decent play, good ideas. In the end, it was individual effort that got us through the midfield. I'm glad that Daniel didn't continue. He looked to pass at the end. He's looking to pass throughout. And just the quality in the end from Jack to Yassine was what was needed to break them down. They were a pretty strong defensive unit. Right, as you can see, they got numbers behind the ball. And the center back was pretty good at reading the play. He dropped off there into space, read the next pass. So it would have been a tight spot. The only other option here, again, this is if you have a stronger left foot, is to take a touch into space yourself and shoot. That's something you're in range. I think if you had work on this, is that you dribble yourself and shoot. But it's tight, right? Probably the best option, honestly. Now that I look at it, it's the lob pass is probably low risk or low percentage, but high reward. So if you had gotten it right, it would have been just a little chip ball. But probably a ball to Cam, to our strongest left-footed player in this case, probably was the best option. But it's a good attempt. Right? We're trying to get the ball in behind them. We're able to put pressure on them and keep them in their area. So just overall, just, good passing. Just needed a little bit better, cleaner pass at the end. All right, in this clip, you'll just see a good opportunity for them in the first half. Probably one of the better chances of this first half for them. And you'll let it run out here. Tyler also gets tested here again with the ball in behind his space that he's marking. All right, not a great clearance here, Cam, into the middle of the field. We're not able to control it by Ethan. And again, another clearance to the middle of our field. That's two clearances, and the tendency here to play across our box is dangerous, right? We shouldn't be clearing the ball. I know it's with your strong foot, trying to get the ball out as best we can, but this is just poor play by us, trying to clear our lines. All right, we got to do a better job here getting the ball out. But again, you see, Tyler's running forward as the ball is being, is coming in, and this guy's looking, the left forward is looking to get in behind, but Tyler's running still forward. As the ball is being served, he's aggressive, right? He's moving up. And I think what you have to realize in this situation is that there's no pressure on the ball, right? You got to be a little bit less aggressive. You want to move the line. As the ball is traveling, you want to move as much as you possibly can to close the spaces. But as soon as it's approaching the defender, you got to stop and start to retreat. Sorry, the attacker, sorry. As soon as this player is receiving the ball, right? Right about now, you're starting to move forward, Now you got to start to slow down and start to backpedal because this can be played first time. He doesn't have any pressure really on him. Billy's sort of there, but this ball's dangerous, right? And as you can see, heck of a save by Nathan to stop that from going in. We're not able to get a good clearance on it because we're basically having to recover as opposed to being in this position already standing and being able to clear the ball cleanly. This is what happens. And in the previous play, I noticed Tyler's being aggressive, stepping as the ball's getting played. He's having to retreat basically behind the ball and desperately lunging at the ball to clear it. This time it ends up not being a good clearance. The last 2 times it was a decent clearance. We were able to clean it up. But this time we weren't able to. We weren't in a good spot. And you can see that the tendency here leads to a chance like this on goal. And, great save by Nathan in the end. But as you can see, they're trying to play their players in behind our outside backs. It's a tendency that I noticed from them. I was coaching Tyler through these moments here because I knew he was going to get tested. This player is their best player. This is the player that scored a goal against us. He's probably their more creative players. He reads spaces well. As you can see, he's already pointing for the ball there as the ball's coming back, going backwards. And I think better positioning here by Tyler. As you see, he's having to stop, and the ball's already in the air. Right, he's a bit behind the play. The forward has the edge here. If this ball's a little bit further, Tyler's having to dive basically to stop that ball from getting behind him. He does a good job, but ends up being it creates a harder clearance for him to have to get the ball out, and so it's not, ends up being in a dangerous spot again in the middle of the field, and they're able to get a good shot on goal. So we got to recognize our positioning, right, as well as our spacing has to be better, right? We have to read the ball in behind, especially at teams that look in behind. We have to read that ball in behind earlier, drop off, and allow them to play, underneath first, and then we can step, right? We got to cover the spaces behind us and the gaps between us more than we do individually defending players, right? We have a tendency to gravitate towards the next guy and put pressure when we need to be marking spaces and closing gaps first, especially when we're in and around goal. It's the center of the field that's the most dangerous. It's not the players who are receiving the ball at their feet. And so you see, this is the third example of this half, and there'll be more of just them testing Tyler with their a ball in behind. And I think we got to recognize those moments and improve upon our positioning and our spacing between the back four so we don't give up any easy goals. In this clip, you just see some good, patient possession. It lacks a bit of creativity and penetration, but we're definitely testing and looking to try to get in behind the midfield line. They have a good defensive shell, and what we're doing is just playing around it and switching point of attack a number of times, which is good, right? That's the starting point for a lot of our attacks, but we weren't able to figure out how to break them down and create chances on goal. Poor free kick here in the beginning, I think just to nobody, right? Let's put the ball in a space that we can attack, but we win the ball here and keep possession for a long period of time. And as you see, I was let it run. Sorry. Ball movement is good. 1 and 2 touch, moving the ball around. In between players, a lot of connecting, right? Players are connecting. Garrett does his patented spin move, looking to play in between the lines. Good by Yassine to hold the ball up. Doesn't turn into pressure, plays the way he's facing. Again, 1 and 2 touch passing here. Small opportunity to cross, maybe. No, not really, because no one really in the box yet. So we work the ball around. I'm glad that we did that there. So as we keep going, good 1 and 2 touch passing again to the other side of the field. We're heads up. We're looking to penetrate. It's not on for us. They're good defensive shape by them. They're able to close the spaces and stop us from getting in behind. All right, so we're patient. We can move the ball 1 and 2 touch across the field again. Good ball here to slip pressure. All right, same as Tyler before. He dribble away from him. The spaces will start to open up. And that's what we want to do. We want to draw them out of their shell. Right. One of the things, Rafael needs to make a quicker decision here, but Jack's here to back him up. Good, good patient play. We're playing around them. All right, we just got to figure out how to get the ball in between lines. If we're trying to play defeat, we got to get players in between gaps, and we finally do. We get the ball to our forwards. We got runners off of it. Possibly a 1v1 there. We end up losing that battle, but it's in the end by fouling. But it's good play. We're deep in their area. We nearly get a chance to cross the ball in. And I think that's just an example of good patient play working the ball from side to side or in an umbrella fashion, working around the pressure, eventually trying to probe. Like, possession is good, but you need to figure out how to penetrate and get in between the lines. And you'll see that there's a few attempts by players to get in behind. I think what happened here is that players found space because they were pretty good defensively. Players found space on the outside, on the perimeter. And so you'll notice that all of our midfielders, Jack, Ethan, and Garrett, are basically on the perimeter. No one's really underneath the play. And we need a bit more rotation, a little bit more creativity between the front five, to get in and out of those spaces. So to lose a player, you maybe need to switch with 9. So switch with Yassine, Jack, or Ethan, and let Yassine drop deep, and you rotate up. Or you switch with 11, allow Daniel to come in, and you come out wide. And that type of rotation is what breaks down these defensive shells. We got to move the ball in and out. We got to figure a way to get the ball in between the lines without being, taking too many risks. We got to start to test the water, test their defensive shell by putting the ball in and out, and get the ball wide. And so that allows them to collapse and then have to expand, as opposed to just shifting left and right with our, what you saw there. We got to figure out a way to penetrate. And if we can't, service from a deep area. So if our backs are in an area that can serve the ball, we can serve the ball from where we were in all these positions into the box. We'll start to create pressure on them, and then you'll start to hear the defense say, step up to the ball and get to the ball, and that's when we can play through them. So, we've had these examples of when teams sit in on us, and I think this is a good example of us just working the ball around the perimeter, basically, which is good, right? But now we never got a shot on goal, I don't think, this entire half, because we weren't figuring out a way to penetrate. And sometimes it just requires a bit more direct play, right? Sometimes it requires rotation, right? Creative rotation and ball movement will do it. Like Barcelona does. All the 3 players up top rotate different positions. The wide back sometimes becomes like a left forward. The left back, the attacking midfielders will drop deep or switch with the number 9. And players are creating space by their movement. And if that's not on, got to serve the ball in the box. Just serve it in the area that forces them to have to challenge for the ball, creates havoc in the area. We're able to win the second balls, and that's how you break down a defensive shell like this. But as you can see, the starting point is that we work the ball around the pressure, make them come out at us, and then try to play through them. So it's possession or switch in point attack, and then we try to probe, right, with good balls in between spaces or into the box with deep service. So those are the 2 areas I think that we need to focus on. Possession part being good, and now we got to figure out a way to penetrate. In this clip, you'll just see another example of how San Diego tried to attempt that ball over top between Tyler and Jake. All right, not a great clearance here by Billy, but they're able to pick it up. The second ball, and you can see that ball in behind is pretty dangerous, right? And what I really want to highlight here, it's hard to see, and I remember watching this live, is that, again, Tyler's being aggressive. He's a bit flat-footed here as his ball's at the server, right? Their forward is definitely looking to get in behind. At this place, I think we need to start to drop here. The player doesn't have any pressure on the ball. He's free to see the field. We can't be so aggressive in trying to win these short balls, especially if the forward is looking to get in behind often. Know his tendencies, right? Drop into space and cover. I think we do a decent job of doing that, making it a hard pass. All right, but we just got to recognize the spaces in between players, as well as our body positioning, right? Making sure that we're in a good spot to be able to recover behind, right? As you can see here, he's actually, had this ball been a little bit better, he's actually beaten Tyler into the space, right? Because I think we're a little bit flat-footed, we're being a little bit aggressive to the short passes, but not necessarily aware of the ball's in behind. And Jake isn't here to necessarily cover, but this time Nathan is. Had this been at half field or a bit further away from goal, this is probably a chance on goal, right? So I think it's hard to see, and I remember seeing it live. If we had an aerial view, I think it would have shown here. But as you can see, Tyler's working forward towards the ball. As you saw there, the ball's coming in. He's working towards the defender. He's running at the defender, or at the attacker, sorry, right? And I think at this moment, once you realize that we haven't won the ball cleanly, right, and they're about to win it, this is where we need to be a little bit more conservative, drop off, give the player space to his feet, okay? Recognize the body shape of the player who's about to serve the ball, and give a little more space because he's faster than you, and he's got to recognize his tendencies, their matchup, and what they're looking to do. They haven't really tried playing his feet yet. They're always looking to overtop, so just drop off, probably in a space a little bit behind him, so that when he is playing this ball in, you're here running the ball, right, after the ball, as opposed to behind him, right? He's beaten you, basically. He's actually beaten both, and it really is up to Nathan here to stop this play. Otherwise, it's, he's in on goal. So just wanted to highlight here just another number of tendencies from teams to look in behind, and our reactions and our spacing and our just body position has to be better from our outside backs and in our back, all of our backs in general. And I'll add one thing is that we want Nathan or Tony, whoever's playing in goal, to close the space as well, right? We want him working off the line, so the back four are working to close gaps between each other, right? And all the back four are also trying to get good spacing and body position relative to the server of the ball. But Nathan also needs to close the gap between the back line and the goal, so that's the window that they can play into is small, right? They have to hit a perfect ball that beats all of our positioning and all of our spacing, and our player, goalkeeper coming off his line to make this really a tough ball to play. And I think, we get caught a little bit sometimes. And I think had that been a softer pass or just more space where we're at midfield, we probably got beaten here because Jake wasn't there to cover, and we weren't really in a good position to stop that ball. The forward was in, right? And had that been a better ball, I think he would have scored. But we can just see how dangerous they are in terms of playing balls over the top, and how we need to improve upon our defensive cover in those areas. All right, just another example here of their play in behind our defensive line when the ball quickly turns over. You just got to recognize that the danger area. It starts off with sloppy, just technical play by us. Good pressure, right? Decent pressure here to try to win the ball. Just sloppy. We're not keeping possession. Again, sloppy. We're not keeping possession. And look, one-time ball over top. The same way they scored last time on us. This is a goal. If this player is able to finish that properly, that's a goal. Right? If you remember the goal from last summer, in Nationals, the first game, it's a turnover like this that leads to goals. Right? Players are advanced up the field. We're not thinking about defending. And right now, we have to recognize that we don't have clear possession. We got to assume, the defenders have to assume the opposite of the forwards a lot of times, or every time, right? They have to assume that we're going to lose the ball. We have to be ready for a turnover, or a transition moment. We have to be ready for to defend, right, at any moment. And then conversely, forwards are usually looking to take chances. Forwards are looking for, they're going to, the other team's going to lose the ball. Where can I be dangerous? Where can I get in behind quickly? And as you can see here, we're sloppy, right? We should probably do much better there in possession, but are not recognizing the danger early enough. Okay, even as fast as Jake is, he needs to start to backpedal as soon as that ball's turned over. He is, but because he hasn't turned to start running yet, he isn't in a good spot to really run after this ball. Nathan isn't in a good position to affect the play, and this is a good ball by them that should be a goal. Right? If he hits that over the goalkeeper, that's a goal. These moments happen even to the best players in the world and best teams in the world. You can't stop it all. But I still want to point out where there's a number of instances where we're just giving up too much. Poor play going forward is causing us to have issues in terms of our reaction timing and our spacing and understanding what's dangerous. Right? Drop deep. Allow them to play that short, especially if a team like this, when we notice their tendencies is to immediately play a ball over top. We've discussed it. We understand what they're looking for. Nathan should be higher up the field. You guys should be be ready to run in off the ball that's played and drop in and get good body positioning, right? And here we're a little bit flat-footed, right? You have no cover. It's 1v1. The ball's in behind, and it really should be a goal for them. All right, we're just sloppy out of the back here again. So as I let the play go, there's another, the second sequence here is just our passing patterns. All right, good combination play. Working the ball side to side. This is decent. This is pretty good effort here. Moving the ball, right? 1 and 2 touch. Can we get service? Good combination play by Yassine. Probably had Abel there to play, but good. We're keeping possession. We're moving the ball 1 and 2 touch. Good by Gare to break pressure. Decent effort here to keep the ball. And we still have good possession. We're moving the ball from side to side. Work the ball around. Let's use Tyler, or I think this is Brendan actually in this case. Probably spots we could use him, but no, we keep the possession. Keep moving negative to create space in between the lines, which is good. Okay, a little bit tight there, but we got the ball moving. It's good possession. We're working the ball backwards to go forwards. It's counterintuitive, but that's how we have to do it. Right, work the ball sideways to attack laterally to attack vertically. Right, work the ball backwards to attack forward. Things like that, and I think you can see just some general good play. We're not able to break them down completely, but overall, we had a dangerous chance by them, right, in the first part of the clip. And the second part of the clip is just good possession out of the back, decent possession out of the back, working the ball from side to side, 1 and 2 touch, in, out, and across the field. And so just wanted to highlight the positive play, at least after that chance that they nearly had, and possibly where we can do a better job of just getting into the box. We never got into the box in the first half. It took us a long time to break them down. But overall, the possession part in terms of playing away from pressure, working the ball around the perimeter of their shell. Another example of the same thing as the other clips is that can we figure out a way to rotate players or serve the ball from a deep area when we have established good possession? So the first part of the clip is more of a defensive part highlight where we're trying to show what happens when we don't have clear possession and what the attitude has to be of the defenders in terms of their spacing and their positioning, and what can happen when we're not in a good spot when the ball turns over. So it's really our attack that's creating chances for other teams. Right, poor attack, poor transition leads to chances on goal. And then obviously the positive here is our build-up play through the midfield and 1-2 touch, in and out, pipe passing, working around the perimeter, and just the part that we didn't add in this game is figuring out a way to penetrate and just trying to highlight the moments where we possibly could. And you'll see better examples in the second half of when we do actually penetrate. I just want to highlight some decent interplay between a number of different players here. It results in us not getting up the field, but it's good ideas overall. All right, good one touch by Jet, good by Mike to run off of that and switch a point of attack through Abel. All right, that's good possession here. I think we just need less touches here to do the same exact thing to the other side of the field. Look how long it takes us to try to attempt. Right, players are taking extra touches. We're dribbling. We need to switch a point of attack there, Brendan, at that point in time. All right, there's no reason to go back into pressure. As you receive this ball, Abel does a good job of drawing the pressure, right, and turning away from it. And as you receive this ball, you got to go the other way, right? We can't dip back into the right where we just came from, okay, and put ourselves back into pressure. And again, you could have probably turned out using, I believe that's Eric here. Instead of dribbling those 5 yards, can we pass that ball, right? Once you get right here, just give it to Eric. Eric can see the other side of the field. He can see the field better than you can. It just takes us too long because we're dribbling. We're having to dribble to make a pass, right? We eventually work the ball to this side of the field, okay? Decent possession here. Again, Garrett does a good job of just releasing it quickly. Jake as well. Good ball into the forward and just a better interplay here. And I think we get through between Jet and Eric. But it's a good idea, right? Eric's running off of the forward. It's a good long ball to break pressure here by Jake. All right, you notice that the play is around them, switching a point of attack. Obviously I highlighted some areas where we can do it quicker, pass the ball quicker instead of dribbling the 5 yards. Let's pass those 5 yards. Less touches on the ball means quicker ball movement. It allows us to break down teams that like to set up onto one side of the field. But once we do try to play these long balls, it's a good accurate long ball. A lot of times balls out of the back aren't accurate, right, from our center backs. And I think this is a good example of a long ball that is accurate. Good hold-up play by our forwards. And we've got to have a better touch there to keep possession, right? But it's a good idea. Good ideas overall. We switch a point of attack. We play away from pressure. Could it be quicker? I think it can be. And then a good intelligent long ball where we're running off of it, off of the forward and playing the way we're facing. And in this case, we don't necessarily get through the entire team, but we got past the midfield once. We switched a point of attack a couple times, and the ideas were good. All right, here in this clip, you'll just see some just sloppy possession in terms of our technical ability, in terms of receiving the ball and just decision making. Decent ideas. Again, it's just execution is poor, right? Players taking extra touches, players not playing the way they're facing, turning into pressure, as you can see here. Right, losing the ball in a bad spot. Again, we win the ball back and immediately give it away. Instead of passing the ball, we're looking to dribble from a deep angle, right, a deep space. All right, there's no reason to look. We can't look wide here to play the feet. I think Eric's on in the space here, right? Brendan's definitely on over here in the space. We should just look to pass out of this pressure instead of trying to dribble. Okay. All right, you can just see that in the entire sequence here, what happens from this. Now we're having to defend for long periods of time. Good by Eric to track back, all right, into space and track the runners. But it's just poor play, initially, and as you'll see, I let it run. It's a number of sequences where we'll just keep the ball away cheaply, right? Now they have good possession against us, and we're having to defend in a set here, a defensive shell. And we got to recognize this type of danger earlier. Poor defending, and this is a quality chance on goal. It gets blocked here by Jake, but the guy's running in on goal and easily could just tap this in the net. As you can see right there, luckily for us, it gets blocked. All right, we cannot, as a forward, and Mike's in this instance, we can't guess, we can't cheat upfield until the ball is cleared. We got to play smart defense. So really, communication here between Dean and Mike is that Dean's probably not the one that should be tracking this ball as it comes in. Mike should be inside. He's not marking anybody, right? The ball is right here, as you see. And as this ball gets played in, the outside back is way upfield compared to where Mike is, right? That's not good marking. So we basically, what happened in this instance is that Dean was 2v1 or 1v2, right? He was marking two players, and we didn't communicate fast enough. And in this case, Mike is not reading that his player is up the field and needs to get back early enough, and he's having to recover. And because he's basically late, that allows the defender to fake him, right? Fake the service, beats him, right? And is able to play a ball into our dangerous area. And luckily for us, again, that's going in the goal. If Jake isn't here to block this, this is a goal. And this is probably the third or fourth chance on goal this half. We're lucky not to get scored on. Again, sloppy possession. In this case, we actually do a pretty good job of working the ball across the field. And again, we do it again across the field one more time. So this is actually decent possession. This is the easy part of possession, is playing in our own half, working the ball from side to side. Right? But what happens when we try to play forward, though? It just isn't good enough. Right? It's sloppy, it's bouncy, the passes aren't accurate. Again, this is the easy part, trying to swing the ball around. We're trying to penetrate. It's not on for us. And we do the same thing again. We basically try to play in. It's not on for us. We play back. Right? Now we got to go to the other side of the field with less touches. We end up doing it, which is good. In, back, and then over, which is good play. That's actually what we should be doing, but at a faster pace. Again, we're trying to play in between the lines. We lose the ball on the turn. There's a number of instances where we have good ideas. We're just making either a bad touch or a bad pass in the end, and is losing possession in a critical spot. Again, ball gets played in, trying to find the feet of the forward, which is pretty good here. Good interplay, a couple good passes, leads to us losing the ball. Continuing the same sequence. We're looking to penetrate. We probably should be looking to get the ball around. Again, we're trying to penetrate from a deep space. We lose the ball. We're not establishing a good possession sequence. There's a lot of 50-50 play. And then again, we lose the ball. Right? As you can see, the ideas, some of the ideas are good, but I think we need to settle the game down and move, create connections, develop a rhythm. That's one area I think we need to do a better job. Again, it's the third or fourth attempt at the same type of play. It's just direct. It's forward. It's not thinking about going from side to side. It's more of attack, attack, attack. Attack your side as opposed to 4 and a 3, which is attack the near space, looking to go to the weak space, and across the field on an angle. And I think because players are starting to lose the ball, everyone's getting a little bit anxious. Everyone's rushing their decision making. Establish good possession. The players need to calm themselves down, right? Make a good pass, connect 3 or 4 passes, develop a rhythm, develop some confidence, and then look to penetrate, right? When we keep losing the ball like this is the type of play that benefits teams that aren't good in possession, right? We're playing into the hands of a team that likes to play 50-50 pipe ball, right? Likes to run and gun, likes to hit long balls, will defensively sit in, and then counterattack. If we're not cleaning our possession and aren't establishing good possession in their half, we need to settle the game down and move the ball from side to side until we do that. And I think you can see in these examples where the ideas the execution of our ideas aren't sharp enough. Players are losing the ball in easy positions, unforced errors a lot of the times. I think we just improve upon this play, and we're able to break them down. So you can just see another example of, the type of play in this first half that really led to their chances on goal, as opposed to us breaking them down. We weren't able to, both units that I put in weren't able to break down the midfield. The first unit probably did a little better job of getting the ball into the half, but neither unit, could get the ball in the box, really, and create a good chance. And you can see they had, I think, 2 or 3 shots. Nathan definitely had to save one. Clearly, that was a rip-on goal. All right, Jake blocked that last one. They had a number of chances here in the first half where, better finishing by them. We're down 2 or 3-0. So you can just see what poor possession in terms of our principles of play can do when we lose the ball often and aren't able to keep possession. This is what happens. All right, in this clip, you just see complete contrast, from the last clip of just how, when we are clean with the ball, what can happen in terms of us breaking down the midfield and getting a decent effort on goal. All right, so we, good defensive effort here. We win the ball. We're able to play good one-touch ball here. Look at this, one touch, good one touch again, good one touch again. Again, it's clean, one touch. 1 and 2 touches gets us out of that pressure, right? But it has to be clean. The ideas are, from the last clip are decent, but here's what the execution is better. All right, the same type of ideas, but the players aren't losing the ball in easy spots, unforced passes, unforced errors in our passing or our receiving. Now, I don't mind this. This is one of the areas I think, I mentioned in the previous clips, is that if they're in a defensive shell like this, they have a lot of numbers behind the ball. Service into a dangerous area is what's going to get them to come out. And this is pretty good. All right, we're not able to win that first one, but we're able to win the second one. Actually, the third. And I don't mind that. Taking an effort on goal from distance. Again, we need to put pressure on them, force them to come out at us, and to get a shot off on goal. But really what I wanted to highlight here is the difference between the last clip and this clip is that we're playing quickly, we're thinking quickly, and we're also able to execute on our ideas. And just the difference between the quality which is required to break them down, the difference between the 2 clips and the previous clip and this clip is just the quality is way better. Right? Players are playing, their passes are playing quickly, but their passes are accurate. Players are moving off the ball. We're able to break the pressure, and you can see no matter who's playing, what good one-touch passing and 2-touch play and service from deep can lead to when we're executing well. And so I just wanted to highlight a positive clip of where I think we did a good job in breaking them down, and the ideas were good and the execution was good. So just wanted to highlight that, and I think this is a good effort by the boys. All right, in this clip you'll see a combination of good / decent possession, and just the attitude towards the players, attitude of the players, in the late in the half, where we're looking to play a little bit more direct, and I think it leads to it, probably our best effort on goal, even though it was offsides. I don't think we had one shot on goal this entire half, and very, very rarely did we have a service into the box. But let's let this play out. It goes from defense to offense here. All right, we do a good job of closing the spaces down and working hard to win the ball. Win it, we want to look to switch, which is what we do. This is not a bad effort here by Abel to Winston. I think, again, if he hits this perfectly, like Garrett does often in this position, it's a good ball. But also what's on is that ball to Brendan if we needed to. But I don't mind this ball by Abel, attempt at least, right, to try to penetrate. I put him under pressure. We're able to win that ball back. He works hard. All right, we keep possession. We settle the game down. That's good. All right, we're not forcing it. We just tried. I'm not going to force it. Let's give the ball to somebody else and let them see the field. And again, good long ball in the box from a deep angle or deep space. Right, I don't mind this as well because I think they're set up to defend what our normal possession is, which is working the ball from side to side. Good ball in Jet. We just need more runners off of it. He does a good job of at least forcing the defender to make a bad clearance, but there is no effort here, or at least there's not enough players in the area to win the knockdown. So they're able to clear the ball. I think we have had a guy, Eric in this case, I think is playing attacking midfield. As this ball, you see Garrett shape up to hit this long ball. He's not giving you the ball. You got to turn and run after this sprint, 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 sprint. And I think during that time, you probably could have been a little bit closer to this play to make it harder for this player to clear the ball. But good challenge in the end by Jet, forcing them to have to clear a ball wildly upfield, which means we have a better chance of winning those balls that are kicked out. Again, good patience here. We just attacked. Let's get a couple passes to see the field. And a good ball here again by Jet. Now we are in a good spot. As you can see what happens when we have players in good spots here to win the ball. The second ball that Jet brings down, we nearly get in. So good ball by Rafael, in, back, through. Not sure how Mike was offsides, honestly, but he ends up not scoring it, but that's one of our best chances, honestly. It's probably one of our only shots, besides Abel's half shot and, you know, maybe the service by Jack into the box earlier in the clips. We really didn't have that many opportunities to score, and this was probably one of our best ones. Good in, back, and through play. You know, had he been on sides, I think he should have scored that. I think he, you know, put that in the corner, but the idea is right. Again, I'm not sure how Mike's offsides on this pass. He looks pretty even to me. This defender looks behind both of these guys, and I don't know, it looks close. But either way, the referee called it. Good play. I thought we were in. Good first touch, actually, to set up to a shot. He just mishit it. But as you can see, that the attitude of the players during this part of the half is that we're looking to play a little bit more direct. We need runners off of that in both instances, right? By Eric, in this case, by the attacking midfielders and whoever's playing that position. Right, and good things happen when we play directly into the 9, have players running off of it, play in, back, and through. You get players run off of the flicks. We have, you know, got lots of different options here when we try to play intelligent long ball. We're not playing the ball over the back line into the space, but we're playing a ball over the midfield line into a space where the forwards are working and the attacking midfielders are working, and we got good players running off of it, good runs off of it. I think overall, also the attitude is that we're not forcing the ball, right? A number of instances in the other clips is that players were just anxious to get the ball forward, being, you know, every time we won the ball, we're looking to get forward. Every time we win, have some possession, we look to penetrate. Whereas this clip, I think we were a little bit more patient and deliberate in our play. We attempted, it didn't work. Let's win the ball back, move the ball around, let somebody else try. Let somebody else who can see the field better than you can try. You know, a little bit more direct, which I liked. Okay. And if that didn't work, we worked the ball around. We forced them to have to clear a ball that's, that we can win. Right? We put them under pressure. And again, we're patient, work the ball, get good spacing, get players in good spots, not rushing. And again, we make a good pass. And I think you can see the contrast. The last 2 clips are more better play than the previous clips where we're rushing, we're losing the ball. There's a lot of 50-50 in transition moments. We need to eliminate that from our game if we want to stop teams like this. Missouri and a lot of these other teams who don't possess the ball for long periods of time are looking to break. Cincinnati even as well in the previous clip. They're looking to play a long ball, looking to feed off of our poor play, looking to feed off of transition moments. And so a lot of the clips in this first half, you'll see what happens when we aren't good in transition, when we're sloppy in possession, we aren't good in transition. They're able to get chances on goal. Right? We're not able to break them down. But then there are positive clips throughout the half where we're on the brink of good possession to penetrate, right? Possession is decent. The ideas are good. We're patient. We're working the ball from side to side, 1 and 2 touch. The quality is good. The execution is good. And then the final pass in terms of our ideas, in terms of how to break down a real good defensive shell, weren't there in the first half, but I think it improves as we go to the second.